Hi everyone, and welcome again to another Monday Memo. And I'd like to pick up today where I left off on last week's one, around the first megatrend that's currently impacting finance and accounting in a way that is a little unsettling, but it's also allowing us to add more value to our organizations at the same time. And some of you might have heard of it. It's called digitisation. And digitisation, in my mind, can be broken down into three strands at the moment. The first, which is probably the more visible, is this robotic process automation, taking some of the simpler tasks we do around reconciliations and postings, which they can perform 24/7 around the clock. And it's actually now even branching out to more complex areas and tasks. Another strand of digitization is artificial intelligence, which is being used to support advanced analytics, data visualization, as well as supporting the decision making and some compliance tasks. In fact, this was an interesting stat. There's some thinkers out there that reckon 30% of corporate audits are going to be performed by artificial intelligence by 2025. So you make up your own mind, and it's pretty nuts. Then finally, there's also blockchain. Some of you might have heard Bitcoin, which runs off a similar distributed ledger system. But the aim of blockchain is to provide this sort of transparent and secure way of efficiently and effectively and accurately transferring and accessing information from one undisputed agreed version of the truth. And I mean, how many of us have always been looking for the one agreed version of the truth in all our internal databases and systems? It's been trial not only just in accounting, but also for medical records, paying taxes. And all these digital techniques are rapidly automating the work that we used to be doing as accountants and finance professionals in our previous industrial revolutions. So with Industry 4.0 and this digitization of accounting and finance, is there going to be any jobs left, some of you might ask? Well, the latest research from Oxford University's looked into this because of the high level of information processing that we do. So it even suggested 54% of our jobs, finance and accounting jobs, are at risk of automation. So the highest of any other skill profession the research covered. But not all jobs in finance will be as affected. I'm going to put a link up in the show notes to this online calculator that gives you a probability back of the various sort of finance and accounting roles that will be automated. So I encourage you to go check it out. The main thinking behind this is that yes, there may be some sort of social interaction in accounting roles and influencing and so on required, but apparently they didn't require such high levels of social intelligence, which left those roles exposed to automation, particularly by the robotic software. So in accounting finance, it's most likely the more functional roles are the ones going to be digitized. And this shouldn't be a surprise. They're the ones that have been, of the last number of years, that have been downsized, offshored, or gradually being replaced by robotics. I mean, if you think about it, any of the tasks we do in finance and accounting that there's more than one possible solution to means it's a replaceable functional role. If there's a cheaper, more cost-effective solution or way of getting it done, what do you think an organization's going to do? If it's not going to move it, it's going to assign a lesser value to the person or persons performing the role. That's harsh, but it's true. So maybe what sort of steps could you do to get into those jobs that perhaps are less functional? Well, I actually touched on this in a previous blog called The 4 Steps to Becoming a More Valued Finance Business Partner. I'll put that blog in the show notes as well. And those 4 steps are: step 1, look around your current organization and identify who you regard as hard to replace and a valued person. What is it about them that you feel makes them so valued? And if you're struggling in your organization to find such people, listen into some of our prior podcasts with our guest mentors. They'll give you the key elements around the qualities and strengths required to remain valued and hard to replace. And similarly for step 2, now identify someone that's maybe you consider as functional. And that could even be your role if you want to look at it that way. And why do you think that's the case? Why do you think they're functional? And then step 3, draw a simple T account and list out your thoughts of step 1 on the credit, hard to replace side, the valuable side, and list out your step 2, your functional, on the debit side. And again, in my article, I've done this already for you, but it's important to go through the thought exercise yourself. So if you're struggling for ideas, check out my article. I've put a few in there that you can put on the debit and the credit sides. And finally, step 4, compare and contrast your answers. If you wish to become more valued, what things should you be doing more of to get there? Or less functional, what things should you be stopped doing? What things perhaps you need to be changing how you're doing? Or even sort of things that you could be doing now that you could even be doing a little bit better. I mean, at the end of the day, ultimately, you choose what role you do. So do you want to become a more functional person or a more hard to replace valued person with a lower probability of being replaced by a robot? So you can choose to focus on being busy, being functional, or getting results and being valued. Also check out our website, sitnshow.com. There you'll find the latest information, most up-to-date podcasts, videos, blogs, plus links to high-quality timestamp show notes to help you distill and discern the most valuable and relevant qualities you need to be looking at to build on your own strengths and remain relevant. So until next time, take care, and let's keep on building our strength in the numbers.